Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you. Hello there, how's it going? Welcome to episode 57 of 15 Minutes of Genius, an awesome show where we bring on really great entrepreneurs, investors, people that are changing the CPG industry. So I'm like Joe Rogan, except way less popular. I have more hair, and I only talk about food and beverage. But everything else is exactly the same. I just have probably 10 million less listeners than he does. But you know what? We still have great listeners that are on LinkedIn and viewers. So thank you to all the fans out there. Big plug to Mark Nicholas, Mark at ManhattanBeachStudios.net. Here he is right there. I love it. The kind of thank you prayer thing going on. Love it. So he is the king of the castle here at Manhattan Beach Studios. He is managing everything, the lighting, the camera work, also his assistant, Spencer. Shout out to Spencer, wherever you are. Maybe he's on a lunch break right now. But yeah, great show. Love to be here. Make sure to reach out to Mark if you would like a podcast, editing, photos, videos, all that great stuff. He is a master at it. All right, so our guest, I've been seeing her on LinkedIn for a long time. I see the TikTok videos where she's talking about her story, her product. She's either in the car, she's on the go. Busy mom, she goes in the stores. You see the product in the stores. Like I've seen all the videos, all the TikTok, really awesome stuff, ton of energy. So here's an introduction about her. Her name is Julie Podolec, right?
That's right. That's
okay.
Right.
Awesome. She is the founder and head of sales at Modern Pop. Now, what is Modern Pop? It is a non-dairy frozen dessert brand with commitment to simple ingredients and transparency in labels. Love that. Founded by husband-wife team, Modern Pop was created after being unable to find a simple ingredient frozen fruit bar for their firstborn teething son. Modern Pop has a line of frozen fruit bars and also has a new line of creamy and non-dairy made with avocado. I've seen those at Sprouts. Ice cream bars. Julie, how are you?
Alex, I just got better. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me on.
Totally. So we actually, it was funny. We had to, we restarted. We had an audio issue, and we've already been through. How are you? And she said, great. And we went back and forth, and then we're like, wait a minute, we have to start the segment again. And then she's like, that's why she just said like, I'm doing good, like again, So yeah, good stuff. Improvisation, it's fun. That's what we do on the show, just keeping it fun, and you're definitely the perfect guest for that. So let's get into your story. Let's get into the product, Differentiation. Tell us more about Modern Pop, how it's different from all the other popsicles that are on the store shelf. Talk about your distribution, where you're at now with stores. Let's just hear about your story with Modern Pop.
Yes, I'd love to share it. So the story is really extremely meaningful to both myself and my husband. Obviously, we really started this company out of a need. I was a first-time mom, and I feel like, moms, parents, I truly believe that they make the best entrepreneurs because they just figure stuff out for their kids. And in this instance, that's exactly what we did. I was a first-time mom. Our son was going through teething at the time. He was really having a hard time with kind of breaking his first teeth. And truly, Alex, I was a hot mess. I was at home. My family was back on the East Coast. I'm originally from the East Coast, and I couldn't find anything that I felt comfortable giving him. And so I went to every natural grocery store looking for a simple ingredient, frozen fruit bar, that I could give him. And I didn't think that this task would turn out to be hard, but I was truly shocked at what I found at the grocery stores. And this is probably, say, 5 years ago now. Everything was filled with sugar, water as a primary ingredient. And so as a mother does, you go home empty-handed, and I started making them myself. And I am not an expert in the kitchen. I'm good at breakfast, but I'm not an expert in the kitchen. And I started making them myself. And the whole purpose of what I was doing was just pulling back the ingredient labels, simplifying what was there, and always using fruit as a first and primary ingredient across anything that I was making him. He went crazy for them. It solved the problem. And I had a passion for what I was doing. I started talking to kind of this circle of moms that I was friends with, and I really started to research cold plate push carts. And so really grassroots, but kind of started the ideation kind of around this throwback, nostalgic, classic treat, and came out with a push cart on the patio of a local restaurant in Laguna Beach, kind of retrofitted the apron, pulled out all of the colorful colors out of my closet, and went with this gut instinct of what I knew was better than what I found. And so from that time until today, now we're in about 3,000 stores, mainly on the West Coast, and growing. So it's extremely exciting. We have a line of frozen fruit bars, and the biggest differentiator is our frozen fruit bars are 100% plant-based. So we use no refined sugar, 100% plant-based, and really focused on the fruit. So fruit is our first and primary ingredient across every single frozen fruit bar that we bring to market. And it's a true passion of ours, keeping that simplicity, the transparency in labels, and as limited ingredients as we possibly can. So, I mean, there's nothing better than knowing, what you're going to get at the supermarket and not having to double check labels. And that's really kind of what we're offering our consumer.
Got it. Yeah, definitely a lot of stores on the West Coast that I've seen. There's Whole Foods, right? There's Sprouts. I've seen in a lot of different stores here since I live in LA. Let's get into the packaging because this is also something that really caught my eye. I mean, you dress in really bright colors, right? You have the pink jacket, and your branding reflects it. It's like it's you, it's you on packaging, right? So tell us about you kind of inferred a little bit about it, with like modern. It's like kind of a throwback, but modern pop. Tell us more about the name and the colorful packaging, and how'd you kind of come up with, these ideas?
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting because coming from the East Coast, immediately when we were on the West Coast, there was this instant, we lived by the ocean. And so there's this instant like, oh my gosh, everything is so colorful and everyone is so healthy. And it was really like a lifestyle change that we saw from East Coast, New York City, moving to Laguna Beach, California. And so when we started the company, it's a very much of an aspirational brand. And my background's always been in not only sales, but kind of in branding and marketing. My dad's a photographer. I love the aesthetics and kind of how imagery can kind of speak to somebody before obviously words can. And so the imagery is that of, what's reminiscent and nostalgic of kind of Palm Springs. So it's made to evoke a customer to, want to be there and take them back and transport them to these simpler times. And I think more than ever in today's day and age, when you go to the grocery store, when you go on Instacart, there's like 20 different frozen fruit bars and there's 20 different protein bars. And so it's like, how do you differentiate yourself? How do you separate yourself? And so I think, I really tried to wrap myself also around that branding because I felt like I kind of, it separates us from others in a sense. And I think that, when you look at the company, there's more than just a product. And I think that is very special, and it's harder to replicate that than to come out with something that might be a similar product.
Right. Yeah. I mean, a lot of I did like just some like market research. I went to Sprouts. I looked at all the other kind of popsicle companies, right? And I saw a bunch that were very ingredient forward. It'd show like the ingredients, it'd show like kiwis or chocolate or peanut butter. And they're trying to like get people with ingredients, which is not a bad move, right? It's, there's an appetizing aspect to that, but also very plain. Like, it's either one solid color or it's white. And I would say that branding wise nailed it to really separate yourself. Just people buy with their eyes. They're going to see yours first or see it like in a big set, and it's going to like really pop out. And one other thing too, just to kind of transition, is like when I first saw you on LinkedIn, I'm like, okay, she is definitely the face of the company, like for sure, right? Like she is Modern Pop. She's a founder. She's head of sales. But I didn't realize also how much you're running behind the scenes, right? Like you're running the marketing division, and you have a small and mighty team, as we talked about. But tell us more about like what are you doing behind the scenes with Modern Pop? Because I feel like maybe you're not getting enough credit on LinkedIn for that, because you're the face of it. You're more on the marketing TikTok side, but there's a lot you're doing behind the scenes to help run the company. So
I love it, Alex. You're the TikTok, No, I
yeah,
am like
hip.
my biggest asset is I love people. Like and the whole COVID situation, like my favorite thing was to get on a plane, get in front of a buyer and tell the buyer, what the difference is, share the product, taste the product. And so those are things that I miss because I really crave that human connection. But, when it comes to the actual business, I will say, I feel like I actually get a good amount of credit because I am that face and I put myself out there and I love talking, as you can tell. And I mean, it's my passion,
Right.
it's my full passion. But I think that behind the scenes, I mean, truly, I'm a full-time mother to two awesome kids who are like the best, who still eat these like every day, which totally feeds my soul. But we have a couple different marketing like interns that we kind of work with on the daily. So marketing is obviously, I think, one of the top tier things that you can focus on in today's day and age, based on social media and just having all those things at your fingertips. So why wouldn't we be on TikTok? Why wouldn't we be on Instagram, on LinkedIn? And they're all used for different things. But I will say we have an amazing team in operations, my husband, who's my business partner, who does a lot of like the back end business work that doesn't get seen, but it's the grunt work, right? And so there's a lot, as that's not so beautiful and flashy. And I love the bright colors and like screaming at the top of the mountain. Like I'm like a cheerleader, like always. And I'm a huge optimist. But it's not all perfect. I mean, there's always things that you're kind of going through in the back end. And so I appreciate you saying that maybe I don't get the credit, but I feel like I put myself in front of it, whether it's good or bad. I am 120% behind the brand. And so I think it's important for people to see that, because if I'm not, then who is, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you gotta believe it, believe in what you're doing, and then that kind of energy is very infectious and it rubs off on others. But I think like the big statement and the big takeaway I have just in general as an entrepreneur, whatever business you're in, but especially CPG, food and beverage, there's so many moving parts and pieces that there is so much behind the scenes that we are doing, which most people
Right.
just never see. They see just
Right.
what's at face value. They see the product on a shelf. And to get the packaging done, to do market research, to get formulation, to find out what to put on the package, to get someone to buy it, the marketing, raising money, there's so many things that go into just getting a product like Modern Pop on a shelf where you can go in and scan it through the register, and within 5 minutes you're out the door and it's in your car. So much that goes into that, sourcing, and it goes on and on. So huge kudos to you and your husband. And by the way, what's his name? Brad. So big shout out to Brad as well for an awesome partnership, helping, you both really bringing this product to life and getting it on the market. So Brad, awesome job, my man. So, all right. And you as well, obviously. So, all right. So we're going to go into our next segment here because we're running out of time. And this is called Rapid Fire Questions.
Love it. Let's do it.
Rapid Fire Questions.
Okay. All right. So you probably have, since you've watched some of the, actually, you know what? But the early episodes, like with JR and all those, like we didn't have that yet. But we've been evolving the show to make it a little more fun. Again, like Joe Rogan, I think is one of my like podcast heroes. And, he's all into like mental brain function stuff. So like, the genius thing that kind of falls in line with that. But he does. You notice on his podcast? I don't know if you ever listened to it. It's really long. It's like 3 hours. I'm like, how the hell does this guy do it almost every day for 3 hours? For the first 5 minutes, he's talking about sponsors. First 5 minutes. He makes per episode $40,000 per episode. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, you're about to get paid after this episode.
Yeah. I mean, I'll get maybe knock a few zeros off that, $40, just enough to get some dinner. I'm happy with that, you know. All right, so let's go into our questions here. So, and obviously, just thank you for all the kudos, and it's fun. It's fun to do the show. Like you said, I love to connect with people, and it's just fun to like hear the stories and share the stories on LinkedIn, right? So, and we're getting
it's the best.
We're getting more viewers too. Like we're getting probably about 4,000 to 5,000 views per episode. The largest, the biggest viewership we've had so far, it was JR at Vive. He was number 1. He got dethroned. He's number 2 now. Jake Carl's at Midday Squares. He took it. So yeah, he went over.
Watch out! Here we go.
10,000 views. So can we crack that? Maybe we can.
We got to crack it.
Got to do it. All right, here we go. NSYNC or Backstreet Boys?
Backstreet's back.
All right. First thing you do when you wake up.
Coffee.
Movie, you got to say coffee, you know, like the East Coast accent.
Yeah. Right. Coffee, New Jersey.
Yeah. Movie, I said coffee. Movie you can watch an unlimited amount of times.
I'd say Netflix. I don't even, Queen's Gambit.
It could be TV show as well.
Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit. Okay. Got it. Love that show. And actually they did they did it like in LA in Central Station, Union Station in New York. They actually did the chessboard on the ceiling, and then a sculpture of her at the table looking up. It was pretty cool. So, song you can listen to an unlimited amount of times.
Beatles.
Favorite?
Sun.
Yeah, love that one. Favorite sport to watch?
Hockey.
There you go. That's what Mike said a couple episodes ago. Canadian.
Yeah.
Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or Google Meet? What's your favorite? Zoom. Mine's Zoom. What is your spirit animal?
My spirit animal? I feel like I'm a jaguar.
Nice. That actually matches really well. I love it.
Yeah.
Makes sense on a lot of levels. Window seat. Did you just do this? Okay, I missed it. I was looking down. We're definitely getting more than 10,000 views now. We're pulling out all the stops. Got it. All right, window seat or aisle seat on an airplane?
Window.
Peanut butter or almond butter, or neither?
Almond butter.
Omnivore, flexitarian, popsitarian, vegetarian, or vegan?
Flexitarian, popsitarian.
There you go. Cold weather or hot weather?
Fall weather.
Cold weather, yeah, because when it's hot, the popsicle melts too fast.
Fall.
Oh, fall. What do you say? Fall weather? All weather. All weather.
Fall weather.
Okay, got it. LeBron James or Michael Jordan?
LeBron.
There you go. Ginger or turmeric?
Ginger.
Favorite food or drink? You're stuck on a deserted island. You cannot say genius juice and you cannot say modern pop.
Kombucha trilogy.
There we go. That is my favorite. I get that from Costco. I love that one.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Right on. So that is rapid fire questions with Julie Podolec, Modern Pop.
Thank you for having me, Alex.
Absolutely. So thank you again, episode 57, and have a wonderful night. And by the way, thank you for staying up late because you're on the East Coast. So appreciate it, Julie.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Got it. Take good care. Have a good one. All right. Bye. So that is, again, episode 57 in the books. Julie Podolec, she is the founder and head of sales for Modern Pop in a freezer near you. So again, a big plug to Mark Nicholas, Manhattanbeatstudios.net for all your editing desires. Come on, if you want to be the next Joe Rogan, I mean, maybe I will, but if you want to beat me to it, do a podcast. If you're in LA, if you're in OC, like you can be in here by tomorrow and do a podcast right here, and it's very affordable, like super affordable. And there's a big return on investment. You get your name out there, LinkedIn, YouTube, you name it. So make sure to contact him, mark@MattyMeatStudios.net. So again, episode 57 in the books. And one last thing, stay modern and genius, my friends.
Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.